Hello, everyone, and welcome to this video on graphing lines. So this is something we've reviewed a lot in class, but in case you had forgotten, I wanted to go over it one more time in a video. This is going to help you with both homework number 9.1 and homework number 9.2, both of which are available now in Google Classroom, and you should work on as soon as you get the chance. So we're just going to go straight into a problem. The important thing to remember, though, is that when we're graphing these lines, they're almost always going to be in the form y equals mx plus b. If you have an equation like this, that is the equation of a line. So it's y equals something times x plus b. The m, that's the number with the x, is the slope. And Ms. Langley always told me you can remember what the slope means because that's how the line moves, right? The m is how the line moves. The b is what we call the y-intercept. And that's where the line begins. So we're going to use these principles to go through graphing some lines on the homework. So here we have the equation of a line. The line is y equals 6x plus 3. Y equals 6x plus 3. First, let's identify the y-intercept. What is the y-intercept? Remember, that's where the line begins. That's the part that we add at the end or subtract if it's a negative number. So y equals mx plus b. Well, what is that in this case? We can see it as this plus 3. So this is the y-intercept. I'm just going to call it the y-int. Then we have to find the slope. Again, the slope is the number with the x. It's not the x, the slope is not 6x, it's just 6. So this is the slope. And when we have the slope, it's always best to write it as a fraction. So if you have a whole number, if it's not already a fraction, just put that whole number over 1 because 6 is the same as 6 over 1. Now we're actually going to graph the line. So remember, the y-intercept is where the line begins. You need to find the y-axis, not the x-axis down here, but the y-axis, and go to the y-intercept. So in this case, 3. And then the slope tells us how the line moves. So the slope is 6 over 1. The first number tells us to go up or down because it's positive. We're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the number on the bottom, the denominator, tells us how far to move to the right. So it's just 1, so we're going to move over 1. If you were doing this on a piece of paper, of course, you would actually mark these points and then use a ruler to draw a line connecting them. But for now, this is all we need to do. Submit. Perfect. Let's try a few more. So here we have another one. The equation is y equals 2x plus 4. So think to yourself, what is the y-intercept? Where does this line begin? And what is the slope? How does this line move? So the y-intercept, of course, is what we add at the end. Again, if you forget which one is the y-intercept, you can go back to the notes. The y-intercept is that b that we add at the end. And so this is going to be the y-intercept. Y-int. And we can go ahead and mark that on the graph right now. It's going to be 4. The slope is the number with the x. Again, if it's not already a fraction, we want to put it over 1. 2 over 1. So this means starting from this point, we're going to go up 2 over 1. Now to graph this in here, you'd click here. Oops, I messed up. Click here. You've got a line. And now you can just hit submit. Perfect. All right, here's one where we've got a fraction. We find the y-intercept, that's 1. We go up 1 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Submit. Perfect. We'll do one more. We'll jump ahead to a higher level where we have the whole graph, but it's the exact same thing. Oh, this is kind of a tricky situation. When you just have y equals -2, just find -2 on the y, and it's just going to be a line going side to side. You can go anywhere that's straight to the side. I'll just go right here. Submit. In this case, a bit more complicated. We've got some negatives the y-intercept is -5. So we'll start between -4 and -6, that's -5. Then the slope is -1/4, which means down 1, but to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there you go. Submit, terrific. If you have any questions, of course, you can email me. I'm going to make a second video for 9.2. You can watch that if you want to see a few more examples.